He didn't want to fix the old version of himself. He wanted to erase the coordinates, not because he hated who he was, but because every part of that structure was designed for someone he no longer trusted to lead. The plan, the voice, the pace, all came from pressure, from reaction, from survival. So, he stopped patching, he dropped the map they gave him, and he drew one where the destination was built around who he had become, not who he once tried to be. People talk about rebuilding like it's noble, like putting the broken pieces back together proves something. But sometimes, the structure was wrong to begin with. He didn't want to return stronger, he wanted to stop returning altogether. There's no pride in rebuilding a house that never made space for you to breathe. Peace without foundation is just a pause before the next collapse. So, he walked past the rubble, not because he didn't care, but because he knew what stood there was never designed with himself in mind. Not everything from the past was useless. Some strategies worked, some reactions taught him speed, some mistakes made him sharper. But he wasn't going to build a future that required the same pain to justify it. So, he stripped the method, kept the core, redrew the frame. No monuments to failure, no altars to old wounds. Just a new layout, clean enough to move in without bringing the past in boxes. When something breaks, the common advice is to rebuild, pick up the pieces, restore what was lost. But some damage runs deeper than repair, and when the foundation itself is flawed, rebuilding only traps you with the same blueprint. That's the core of this chapter. You don't rebuild, you redraw. In psychology, this links to cognitive reconstructing. It's not about fixing the old pattern, it's about designing a new one. Instead of asking, how do I get back what I had? You start asking, what's the system made me lose it in the first place? The shift changes everything. Because repair still honors the old frame, redrawing creates a new map altogether. History shows this pattern too. After cities are destroyed by war, the strongest nations don't just restore what stood before, they redesign new roads, new architecture, and new defense lines. They use destruction as data. What failed becomes instruction. That's not sentimentality, that's strategy. The same applies internally. When identity cracks, rebuilding the old self only reactivates the weakness that caused the fall. Redrawing means constructing a version of yourself that never needed that fragility to begin with. It's not about getting back to who you were, it's about building someone that the old version could never reach. But there's a tension here. Redrawing requires letting go of nostalgia, the comfort of who you used to be, even if that version was miserable. Most people fail here. They rebuild because they want familiarity. They want to feel safe again, even inside the same flawed structure. Redrawing demands colder courage, the ability to lose everything familiar for something that might not exist yet. Strategically, this mindset is lethal in the best sense. It means every collapse becomes raw material. Every mistake turns into an architectural sketch. You stop fearing ruin because you know how to redesign from the debris. So, the question is this: when your life fractures again, and it will you reach for the pieces to rebuild, or will you take the chalk and redraw from zero?